Welcome back to Rich Hatch Homes, where our goal is to provide you value as your Iowa City real estate experts. I'm Tommy.schorer.
And I'm Rich Hatch.
And today we are going to share with you the state of the market. Everybody likes to ask, how is the market? How is real estate going? We're going to share that information with you. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us, all the different things so you can get our latest content on all the different platforms. All right, the state of the market. There's a little bit of recency bias whenever you talk about anything, the state of anything, and that's the same with the real estate market. So during the pandemic and the years after, houses were flying off the shelves. Buyers were coming in, making offers right away, skipping inspections, things like that. And it was really a seller's market, and it was at times easy for a seller to sell their house. Well, what we've seen in the last few years is kind of a return to normalcy, or a return to what we saw before the pandemic. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what that means, what that looks like. So Rich, what does a return to normalcy mean in the real estate market right now in our area?
Yeah, for sure, Tommy. This is a really good question because what we're seeing is that return to normalcy, and what that looks like is it's still a seller's market. So buyers still have to be ready to make that offer, get the pre-approval, all those things in order so that they're ready to pursue the house. Still seeing a strong, it's list price, 97% of list price to 100% of list price, and sometimes a little bit even over. So it's not like that's gone away and that people are selling at a huge discount or anything like that. But what we are seeing is buyers are a little bit more particular than they used to be. Mm-hmm. So that means from a seller perspective, you need to make sure your house is in really good repair. Make sure that it's really clean. Everything is showing very well. Maybe it means you have to do a little extra staging, and you really need to get that price right. So the price is going to help sell the house because people are coming in at 97, 98 to 100% of that price.
So there's a lot of talk that, the real estate market is crashing, or it's down, or it's real tough times. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't believe so. No, I think what we're seeing is, again, from a buyer perspective, there's still certain price points and price areas or certain types of homes that are selling very quickly, and it can be really hard to get into those markets. So we're still seeing some of that. As a buyer, it can be really frustrating at times. But from a seller, it can be frustrating too if you don't have your house ready to go. Another thing from a seller perspective is, back in COVID, you might not have had an inspection on your house because the market was moving so quickly. To write a competitive offer, you would waive inspections. But we're not seeing so much of that anymore. And because of that, when you're selling your house, you want to make sure everything's in good working condition, good working order. Make sure that you're ready to go for those inspections.
Yeah, Rich, and something else that we hear a lot that can impact the housing market is what mortgage rates are doing. And they are obviously always shifting day to day, depending on what's going on. Those are always shifting. Something that I hear a lot is, rates are back up. I can't buy a house because interest rates have gone back up. Well, that's not really true if you look at historical context. Now, everybody that remembers the COVID rates, the mid to high twos or the threes or whatever else. Well, just 2 years ago, the rates were near 7. Right now, as we sit here today, they're in the upper 5s. Sometimes can get down to 5.5, sometimes a little closer to 6, but that's an entire point better than just 2 years ago.
Yeah, and one of the things too that people have to understand is locally, we're almost always beating the national market from an interest rate perspective. Our local banks do a really good job of keeping those interest rates a little bit lower. So when people are like, hey, I heard that the rates are above 6% now, that probably means locally we're just under 6%.
So we've talked about kind of what's some of the overarching thoughts that we're hearing maybe nationally, things like that. It's important to know that Iowa City is different than the national market. And Rich and I can help debunk myths. If you're hearing real estate market's down, we can tell you the truth. Hey, is that true in Iowa City? What's really going on? What do the numbers actually look like? But it's also important, like you said, Rich, to be strategic if you're thinking about selling your home. There are certain things you need to give more attention to now than maybe you did 4 or 5 years ago.
That's right. And just because we're in a bubble, and what we mean by a bubble is that we have the university hospitals and clinics. We have the University of Iowa. Those two are heavily subsidized by the government, and therefore we have a very stable market here. And so we kind of say the Iowa City area is in this bubble of protection. That doesn't mean we still don't have to be good advocates for our clients. It still doesn't mean that our sellers still have to go through the work of making sure the house is ready to go. And it also means that from a buyer perspective, just because the national outlook might not be as good, here it is. So even during 2008 in the market crash, we still had a pretty stable market even through that. So it's just good for people to be aware of that. Right now, we're seeing about a 2 to 4% growth in our market as far as increase in prices, which is kind of the good old stable market that we've seen in the Iowa City area, where it just kind of slowly goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also seeing all the surrounding communities that encompasses Coraville, Tiff, and North Liberty, and some of those other surrounding communities as well.
Yeah, so it's important to keep in mind what you hear in the national headlines or what your friends may think or things like that. Not always necessarily true. We are here to provide good insight, good strategy if you're thinking of buying or selling, but to provide information about what's really going on. And there are so many generalizations that can be made, like we said, nationally. Even in Iowa City, there are different markets within the Iowa City area, depending on price point, depending on features, depending on specific towns. There's a lot of nuance to it, a lot of different factors and things that make up, hey, what's happening in the real estate market. So if you ever have any questions about what's really going on or specific questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can get you the right information. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Rich Hatch Homes.